Hello, pro dancers, pro cheerleaders, aspiring pros. It's been a very long time since I have done a solo episode, and I've been very busy with life. But I wanted to give an update on how I am adjusting to being an NBA dancer, being a honeybee. We're going to get into that in this episode. I feel like it's long overdue because some of you know that I was a former NFL cheerleader. I was a top cat. And then I took about 3-ish years off. Let's see. 2022, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, I was about three years off from not being on any teams, not dancing. And then I just realized how much that I just miss performing. I missed being on a stage, doing what I loved, entertaining, performing, dancing, expressing myself through dance, through very fun choreography that's going to hype up a crowd, that's going to make someone's day, and just being that extra touch and being part of something that is going to make somebody happy at the end of the day, whether it's through dance and a performance or whether it's through greeting somebody at the door when they first walk in to a game, or taking a photo with a young child who maybe had been looking forward to that for a long time, or looking forward to that all day, or just making their day, seeing them light up, seeing the smiles on their faces. I missed having those touch points and just being able to impact somebody in a positive way. And you can do that when you're not in uniform. You can do that. But when you put on that uniform, it makes it so much different. And people feel like they're getting exclusive access to you. There's something about the power of a uniform that makes people kind of treat you differently, kind of put you at this high standard. Although I was still impacting people when I wasn't on a team, it just wasn't the same that I could get from performing and doing that at the same time, especially the kids. So the joy that that's brought me, and just getting back into auditions, has been so much fun. Honestly, I never thought that I would try out for the Honeybees. I never thought that I would be an NBA dancer. If you asked me this maybe 4 years ago, I never saw that in the cards for me. I was probably like, ain't no way I'm doing that. It's too many games. 41 games? What? I have a life outside of that. It's so funny because that is my life now. I decided to audition because I thought to myself, you know what? There's some reorganizing going around in the dance world, in the pro dance world in Charlotte. There was something that hit me one day and it was honestly God that told me, Jasmine, you miss doing this. This is what brings you joy, what brings you happiness. You need to be around like-minded people that love what you do as well, that love to dance. You need this community, and you need to get back on a team. You are not done yet. And it was so clear to me that I needed to try out. It just hit me probably a month before auditions. It was probably April and I was not thinking about auditioning for the Honeybees, and auditions were in June. I made that decision at the beginning or end of May that I was auditioning for the Honeybees. And so I started getting into audition mode. I started trying to take the prep classes. I didn't get into any of the prep classes. I got on a waiting list, but I tried to do everything I could, everything that I had been telling hopefuls to do to get on teams, I had done. I had to practice what I preached. I had to take the prep classes. I had to reach out to the veterans. I had to reach out to people that I thought would help guide me in this journey. I had to do all of that. And getting back into it, I was like, okay, I can do this. I know how to do this. I've done this before. This looks familiar. This is different. Oh, but I know this person. I know that person. I know somebody that can do my headshots. I have a connection there. I know somebody who was a former teammate of mine who I can borrow their uniform. So I had to be super resourceful in those moments and really dig deep, listen to my own advice, and just go for it. It was a whirlwind, I will say. It was not easy. And my body was definitely telling me that it was not easy. My body was like, woo, you're a little older now. Some things are starting to crack, snap, what is it? Crap, snap, and pop. I remember during auditions, I think it was the first day of audition. So they had a video round. I made it past the video round to semifinals, but it was the first day of in-person semifinals. And my Achilles was killing me after learning the dance for that semifinals. I was like, this has never happened before. What is going on? I was like, I'm not an amateur, but when it comes to getting back into something, okay. I probably should have taken more classes. I probably should have been training more. And I kept working out. I never stopped that. Well, I hope that I can continue to move my body for the rest of my life and work out. So that didn't change. What did change is I was not dancing as frequently as I normally would. And I had some Achilles pain. Once I made the team, I had to see a physical therapist for I had some knee pain that I was dealing with. And I had to get exercises to roll out my quads and stretch my calf muscles and do all of that. My body was not in tip-top shape as it was in my 20s. I auditioned in my early 30s as a honeybee. And that's still young. But your body as a woman, and just as a person in general, it changes and evolves over time. I thought I was retired, but I still had something in me telling me it was God calling me to his purpose for me. And I truly believe that dance is part of my calling. It truly does just give me joy. Like, I don't want to ever get to the point where I make dance who I am. I want to be very careful about that because I know that dance is not going to last forever. Yeah, my body feels different this time around, but I know it's going to feel even different 10 years from now. I'm already noticing how my body is feeling, and I have to work against that. I have to keep training, stretching, and taking care of it even more so now than I did when I was on another team. So I say all that to say, I don't ever, getting back to my point, I don't want to ever be like, dance is me and I am dance. Because I am way more than that. I have other things that I love doing, other projects that I love doing, other roles that I play within my family life and my friends' lives, and just the people, my colleagues, the people that are around me. So I know that although I love dance, I'm not going to be able to do it forever. I'm just not. It's one of those things where you do have to hang it up at some point. And I just wasn't done. It's so funny because my last coach on the Top Cats, when I retired, she said, I just have a feeling that you're not done with dance yet. And she wasn't wrong. She was not wrong at all. Shout out to Shondelay. She was not wrong. I didn't know what opportunity that would have been, but it turned out to be just where my feet were planted. And it's so crazy to me when I think about that, because after I left Top Cats, I knew that I wasn't done dancing, which is why I still auditioned for teams. I auditioned for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I auditioned for the Redirecs, and I almost made the Redirecs team. I was preparing to move to Las Vegas and be a raiderette. I made it all the way up to finals and didn't hear my name called at the final audition. But the fact that I made it to finals, I just was like, wow, I could have been living in Las Vegas. But God told me differently. He said, no, you don't belong in Vegas. You belong right where you are, in Charlotte. And it's just funny how life works out. Like, in this season, I needed to be in Charlotte. Personally, I am now an auntie. After that Vegas audition, I got into a relationship, a serious relationship. And all of that happened in Charlotte. And I needed to be here. And there's probably other reasons that I needed to be in Charlotte, but being a honeybee was one of those too. And I didn't know it at the time, but it's just crazy how the trajectory of your life worked out. And I always talk about to some of my friends that Vegas, everything was written in the stars, like written in the stars. It felt like everything was aligning for me to make that Raiderettes team. I've probably talked about this before, but I just remember I had a work trip. And the weekend after that work trip, I had to be in Vegas for that audition. So the work trip ended up, I never came home. From that work trip, I ended up going straight to Vegas, and that aligned. I had an old friend that lived in Vegas, and she let me stay with her for a couple of days, at least for the first weekend, until I found out if I made it further in the process. That aligned. I ended up staying in a hotel room. I work from home, so I could still work. But for that whole week, I was in a hotel, and I was working and practicing and going through the audition process. That all aligned. I had to get a rental car. All of these things were just aligning for me to make that team. And I look back on that and I think about, why did everything align so well? It just seemed too good to be true. Everything seemed to be happening the way that I intended and wanted it to happen, except the very, very end result. And I think about that. Like, what was God trying to tell me there? Was he trying to say, like, you're so close to dancing again, it's just not here? Like, you enjoy this so much, I'm going to put you through this whole process of dancing and conversing with different women on the other side of the world. It really feels like it's the country, but from North Carolina to Vegas, that's like the other side of the world. I'm going to put you in this situation. I'm going to help you meet other new people that you might have a bond with afterwards, but in this season, you'll never forget about it. But I'm gonna let you get so close to it, and I'm gonna take it away. And I was so mad. I mean, anybody is mad when they don't make a team, but I was so close. But God was, like, I look back on that, and he was preparing me or protecting me for something that I didn't need over there. I didn't need something over there. I needed to be here. I needed this team. I needed the team that I'm on, the women that I met on this team. And it kind of makes me emotional just thinking about that. Like, I'm sure there's some type of Bible verse, if you are religious and you are a Christian, that relates to getting, like, being so close to something and then God taking away and saying, nope, not yet, you're not ready. So yeah, I just had to share that because that was part of my journey. So I want to get into how I'm adjusting now, because right now, I don't even have a watch on, but I just like doing that just for the look. If you're listening, I just like looked at my wrist. You know how people look at their wrist and they're like trying to figure out what time it is, but they don't have a watch on? That was me. So I'm on the team now. Currently it is March. No. Woo, girl, what are you talking about? It's February. It's mid-February. And things are starting to slow down a little bit. The beginning of February was really chaotic. There was a lot of stuff happening, lots of games. We had snow. We had a snow game that we had to fix for and reduce and make changes to. It was a lot. It was a lot. But all a lot of fun. Just a lot on my body, mental, physical, you name it. I want to get into some specific things about NBA dance life that I think are interesting to know. I keep looking up here because like my camera's up there, but I like want to look at you. So I think I'm looking at you here. Yes, it's weird because I want to look at myself. Anyway, so the first thing is being an older dancer on a new team. I think the thing, I don't want to be cliche and be like, well, I bring so much wisdom to the team, which I think I do naturally, but like I do find myself when I see that my teammates are hard on themselves, I'm like, don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay. Like, it's okay if you mess up a dance that you just learned. Yeah, we're human. We're not perfect. And I found myself at the beginning of the season beating up myself because of that, and me feeling slightly inadequate because I was like, oh, I'm older. Like, these girls are hype and chipper and they got so much energy, and I just don't have as much as I used to. And I had to really think about that. And I was going through it towards the beginning of the season because I was just like, is something wrong with me? Like, I don't have it like that anymore. I know I'm a good dancer. I know I'm a great dancer. But something in me kind of had like impostor syndrome. And I had to take a step back and be like, whoa, hold up. Wait a minute. I had to talk to my therapist about it because I was like, you belong here. And she had to tell me that too. And I knew I belonged. I just felt like I had lost it a little bit. And I didn't know what I needed to do to get back, but all I needed was time. That's really all I needed. And with time, I felt like my confidence was coming back and that I don't need to compare. I had to take my own advice and really just push through and know that I'm here for a reason. I'm here because they saw something in me that they wanted to be part of this organization. And so I had to keep reminding myself that, and I had to keep reminding myself of the positive self-talk and not beating myself up about the really small things. And they were very, very small. Like, a lot of my teammates have come from, most recently, college dance teams and studios most recently. And my last time on a college dance team was over 10 years ago, really. And at a studio way longer than that. I was at a studio way before that. And so I just found myself feeling slightly inadequate. And I was like, you never felt this way when you were on another team. So why is this coming up now? And I really had to work through that because I was like, you're older. I found myself not being like hip to certain ways of even like dressing for like dance classes and stuff. Like, I'm a leggings girl. I'm a millennial. So I was like, I'm coming with leggings, but like I saw all these cute like baggy pants and stuff. I'm like, oh wait, that's cute. I like that. That's kind of like the NBA style. And I had to get used to that and kind of adopt that style, while also of course staying true to myself and not going completely far left, because I knew that like if I tried to do that, I mean, I wouldn't do that anyway. So it's just like really small things like that I was like, yikes, this is kind of scary getting back into it. And I think that's with anything. When you don't do something for a while, you kind of have to build up that confidence. And that's what had happened to me. And honestly, still like over halfway through the season, I sometimes find that creeping up. But I think a lot of people on my team find that and maybe go through that too. I also have to remind myself of that. Like, I'm not the only one that's going through that. I can do hard things and I am not the only one. A lot of us have these thoughts. We just don't say them out loud. And I want you to know that it's normal. Yeah, it's normal. What's not normal is staying in it and just letting it consume you. Like, that's when you really have to do some really deep work and self-worth work, which I'm always doing. I just found myself being in my head a lot more than I usually was. It was just all of that. It was like when Simone Biles was talking about her mental blocks. It was kind of like that. And a lot of athletes face that. You can look at one of my podcast episodes I did with a performance psychology coach, Coach Lane, and he talked about that. What episode was that? Let me just make sure I don't steer you wrong. Episode 160. Go back and listen to that episode with Coach Lane Lee on unlocking performance psychology and how you can get into these mental blocks and it kind of hinders your performance. And you have to just relax, stay calm, and release and let your body do the work, because it is muscle memory. Once you've practiced for so much, and I think that's what it was. Like, we learned a lot of dances, and I did this as an NFL cheerleader too, but you learn a lot of dances back to back to back, and then you get them on video and you think that it needs to be perfect on video. You want it to be good for video because you know the people are going to be watching this. But like, you got to let go of the fact that, you know, people are going to watch it. You mess up, it is what it is. They'll just watch somebody else. 9 times out of 10, you're not the only one messing up. But I just had to get behind that and get over that. Yeah, that was a mental block. I had a ton of mental blocks at the beginning of the season, and I was just like, dang, this stuff doesn't come up. It wasn't coming up for me the 3 years that I was off because I was not on a team. I was not doing this regularly. And so I was like, I talk about these things all the time. Why are these things coming up for me? And I just had to really, really work through that. That's not something I was expecting at all. Also, I think another reason that was happening is because we had the summer off and we weren't really doing dancing during the summer. And then we were thrown into learning a lot in the fall. And I think I was a little overwhelmed by that too. And just really not knowing everyone and getting to know people. It's always hard when you first start something. You're like, I don't know if I'm gonna make friends on this team. I don't know who's gonna be my community, who are gonna be the people that I can reach out to and maintain those friendships. And I think a lot of us question that because a lot of us, especially rookies, did not know each other. And we had to create those spaces to get to know each other. I feel way better now, even though some of those things come up for me. It's definitely not as much as it was at the beginning of the season. So yeah, I will also say that my first game was a lot. My first game as an NBA dancer was a lot. We had a lot of new leadership come in, and I think we were still adjusting as a team about what we wanted to do and the impact we wanted to make on game day. And so those first couple of games, we were kind of testing the waters, and we're seeing what we can essentially do and get away with leadership, and maybe challenging what has always been done and trying new things. So I think that that first game was just a testament to that. And we were doing a lot of running, which I wasn't expecting. And even though we didn't do as much dancing during the actual game, we still were doing a lot. Like going upstairs in the 200 level, like we never did that as Top Cats. We did not have that much, the fans didn't have that much access to us during the games. Before the games, yes. And that was still the same when we had doors opening and interacting with the fans at certain stations around the arena, but not during the games. That was different with NBA. And I found that to be a lot my first game. That's a game I will never forget. And I also remember the music cut out during our first game. The music, it just cut out, and we kept dancing, and we like really showed that we were a team because we started counting, and then they eventually told us to, you know, get off the court, and we would come back and actually perform with our music. So that was very interesting, but it just goes to show how pros should act in those situations, and you just have to roll with it. A lot of things are changing a lot. That's something that has remained constant, is the change. The changes, they're going to happen. So that's what I know to be true. I think there are a lot more that can change in basketball, depending on different plays and coaches' challenges and, you know, getting dances pushed back. That can happen. Sometimes a dance could get cut. Hopefully that never ever happens. It's happened to me in previous years on another team, but it almost happened, I feel like, this season. But you kind of have to get in where you fit in. And I think the organization tries their hardest to have us be out there as much as possible to dance, which I appreciate. So yeah, I definitely think there are some things that I'm looking forward to in the coming season and the rest of the season. So stay tuned, but I'm back in it. I am a professional cheerleader, professional dancer, because NBA is more dance focused. Not that NFL is not dance focused. It's just, like I said before, NFL mostly says like NFL cheerleaders. But now I'm just interested to see how the rest of the season plays out. Our team, the Hornets, are doing really well, and I hope that they continue to do that so that we can go to the playoffs, which would be really exciting. So we shall see. If you asked me this like 5 years ago, I would have been like, I will never be an NBA dancer. The schedule's crazy. But here I am. And this is what God has for me in this season. He said, you're not done yet. And you know what? I think that could be a lesson for you too. If you're listening to this and you think that it might be over for you, maybe you aren't making the teams that you want to make, don't give up. Keep hope alive. It may not be your season right now, but I can almost assure you that your season is coming, and some of the best seasons of your life are coming, and they might not have even happened yet. So don't think that it's over for you. If you have a passion for it, if God has called you to do this, then know, like deep down, it will come. And if you are faith-based, and if you are Christian, or whatever religion you practice, then I will say just lean into your faith. That's another thing that I'm grateful for this team. We have some of my teammates have invited Bible study into this realm, and it's been very helpful to hear their perspectives and to also be vulnerable and share my perspectives and just how, dance can bring us together, but also faith can too. And I think it's really incredible. It's helping me to go deeper into my faith, which is something I always want to do, but it's also something that's always been on the back burner because I'm like, oh, there's so many other things, but like faith is, the older I get, I'm realizing that faith is just as important as anything else and should be the most important thing in my life, because after that, things start to fall into place. I truly believe that. So if you do, then lean into that and lean into knowing that your time is coming. Your time is coming. All right, I think that's it. I'm done yapping for today. I haven't done a solo episode in so long, but it's always so much fun to just sit here and talk to you and express my thoughts and feelings. This was off the cuff. I had some bullet points, but I just wanted to share my story and share how things have been. So stay tuned for more episodes and let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about. You can email me at theprofessionalcheerleader@gmail.com, or you can go to @theprofessionalcheerleader on Instagram, @thepro.cheerleader on TikTok, and send me a DM. I post things there as well. And we can chat. We can chit chat. If there's something that you need to work through, that you need to talk about, that you need some help on or advice, then I am an open book. I want to be that mentor for you. I want to be a helping hand. I want to also pay it forward and share what I have gone through as well. I'm really I want to step into my mentor bag, and I have been doing that, but I definitely want to just reach out and touch somebody, give them advice, and share what I've learned, because people have done that with me too. So, okay, I said I was done yapping. I'm really done now. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Imperfect Cheerleader podcast. Taking the time to listen while you're busy with all of life's responsibilities means the world to me. If you enjoyed this episode, here are a few ways you can support ICP. Number 1, hit the subscribe button so you always get newly released episodes and never miss them. Number 2, take a screenshot of the episode you listened to and tag @theprofessionalcheerleader on Instagram. I love to repost your tags and shout you out on stories. And number 3, write a review on Apple Podcasts. This is the best way to show your support for the podcast and helps bring us even more guests, interviews, and topics. I hope you have a wonderful day and continue to work towards your goals of becoming a professional cheerleader, dancer, or someone who just loves to move, honey. I'll see you next time on another episode of the Imperfect Cheerleader podcast. Bye for now.